course, you can choose another sound if you feel that it doesn't add up a lot. You see now. Or you can choose something else. Let's see the other pages. The page here is the transpose page, the tune page, the tuning page, which actually tunes each part separately, so you can have different tune for one part and a different tune for the other. Usually this applies for effects similar to unison. Unison, what it does is actually layers the same preset, the same voice by itself, and just changes the tuning slightly, but it doesn't give you a complete control of the tuning. You cannot change separately its voice. With multi-mode here, you can actually do that. You can actually pinpoint the exact tuning you want from each of your parts. Let's see the difference that makes. We have now a simple sound here. Again, we will raise the tuning by 9. You immediately hear the difference. It's obvious. You can actually fatten up a sound or make it a bit more spacious by layering the same preset and changing the tuning accordingly. Or of course you can layer different presets. Now let's see the next page here. Here it's the velocity change. What that means is that you can actually change the velocity that triggers the sound. That means that, for example, you can press the key light and trigger only sound 1, and press your keys hard and trigger the second sound. That's very convenient if you want to trigger multiple sounds on the same keyboard, on the same key range, or you just want to use some sounds to emulate some effects like overblow, etc., etc. So here we'll do the same thing. We're going to raise the low velocity so the sound plays only on high velocity. Now here we listen to only one sound. Here we listen to two different sounds. Bear in mind that the velocity works in groups, so you cannot actually have a separate velocity for each of the parts. You have enter groups. Here is a group 1 to 4. You have to change and reach beyond 4. For example, 5, when you reach 5, it says parts 5 to 8. So the next page is the receive page. Here you can disable and enable MIDI channels and USB MIDI channels in case you have connected your Blofeld with your computer on or with a MIDI keyboard through of course with a MIDI port. And then there is a local receive. I'm not so certain what this does. The pitch bend and modulation will receive, which is actually whether there's the previous one might be the local about the MIDI clock, I think, but I'm not certain. You have to check this out. Pitch bend, which is the pitch bend and the mod wheel. Of course, if you have a MIDI keyboard, MIDI controller which has a pitch bend and mod wheel, you want to set this in receive and not ignore, of course. And then there's the edits and the program change. The program change, of course, you know that each time you press in a button on a synth and change a program, it immediately changes also the program on the Blofeld. Sometimes you don't wish this behavior. This happens, for example, with my motif. When I choose a program, I don't want something to change in Blofeld as well, because I might trigger some sounds of the motif and some sound on Blofeld. I don't want the program changes to mix between these two synths, so I can disable this here. Now, about the final part, you might not be immediately obvious, is that you retain all the functionality you had with the sound mode. What that means? That means you can actually go back here, it is the play multi, or you can be also in edit mode, that's up to you, and press Here it goes straight to the oscillator. You have the same shape. For example, you have changed here the shape. Immediately I have changing the shape for the oscillator 1, the weight tables, of course, and of course you can navigate through the available options that are there. So a couple of things to remember is that you, as I can also show, I don't know if I told you that about, sorry, 1 minute for my camera to focus, about the split. Here's the split. Again, the same applies. What you have done with the velocity is nothing different. You send the lowest key and the highest key, so this defines the range when it starts and when it finishes. Again, it's in groups. You cannot have separately for each part. You have groups of parts 1 to 4, 5 to 8, and so on. So this is actually the multi-mode. I hope I have helped you to understand it, and have fun with your Blofeld. Bye bye.